Online financial scams have become one of the biggest cybercrime problems facing Malaysia. With a steep rise in national losses and increasingly complex syndicates that target people through both technology and psychology, our proper critically analyzes online financial scams in Malaysia within the framework of computer ethics and cyber law, using three real cases as our foundation. An impersonation-based macam scam where a retired bank manager from Johor was robbed of RM96,000, and online investment scams that cost a civil servant in Pahang RM130806, and the arrest of an organised investment scam syndicate running a call center in Manjung, Perak. Using quantitative content and trend analysis, we explore the methods scammers use, the psychological and ethical weaknesses exploited in victims, and how far Malaysian legal mechanisms like the Penal Code and the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998 actually deal with or fail to deal with this crime. Our results reveal common themes of identity deception, agency-based manipulation, and cross-border syndicate operations. Alongside weak enforcement, poor victim recovery, and low public digital literacy, we close with recommendations to counter this growing threat. Over the last 3 years, online financial fraud in Malaysia has grown from isolated incidents into a real threat to the country's financial system. According to the Royal Malaysian Police, losses climbed from RM1.28 billion to 2023 to about RM1.58 billion in 2024, then surged to between 277 and 2.97 billion in 2025, a jump of roughly 76 to 87%, with cases nearly doubling to 66,000 non-existent. Investment schemes make up the bulk of these losses, followed by the telecom-based impersonation scams. Bank Negara's Malaysia 2025 report even shows that about 95% of victims actually authorize their own transactions. This is where computer ethics and cyber law intersect. Scammers use social engineering, impersonation, authority figures, or promising unrealistic returns, targeting groups like the elderly and civil servants, and testing the strength of laws like the Penal Code, the CMA 1998, and the PDPA 2010. To ground this, we examine three cases: the Macau scam in Johor Bahru, the individual investment scam in Pekan Pahang, and the Manjung syndicate, where police arrested 13 Chinese nationals running a fake investment platform out of a call center.
I will be presenting on the literature review, where we examine the legal framework used to combat online financial scams in Malaysia. Instead of having specific cyber fraud law, Malaysia relies on existing regulations such as the Penal Code Sections 24, 25, 170, 415, and 420, the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, and the Computer Crimes Act 1997 to prosecute scammers. However, enforcement remains challenging because it is often difficult to prove criminal intent, especially for mute account holders and members of organized scam syndicate. Many scams are also cross-border and digitally operated, making investigation more complex. As a result, fraud continues to be the most reported cybersecurity incident in Malaysia, with impersonation and spoofing remaining the most common scam techniques. Moving on to our methodology, we first identified the search keywords that guided our literature review. The main keywords were online financial scam Malaysia, Macau scams Malaysia, MLM investment scam Malaysia, and computer ethics and cyber law Malaysia. These keywords has allowed us to locate research that was directly related to our three selected scam cases and the legal and ethical issues that were surrounding them. To ensure that our findings were current and relevant, we only included publications and reports published between 2020 and 2026. Next, our study used a secondary data analysis approach, where we collected data from reliable and authoritative sources, which include Cybersecurity Malaysia reports, Securities Commission Malaysia publications, and many more. Using these sources enabled us to obtain verified information on the nature of online financial scams, the method used by scammers, and their impacts on victims.
Now, I will continue with the other methodology used in our study. Next is the selection criteria. We selected our case study based on 4 main criteria. The cases had to occur in Malaysia, be reported in 2026, involve financial cybercrime, and have reliable information available from credible sources. Based on this criteria, we choose 3 representative online fraud cases that provide sufficient information for our analysis. Next is content analysis. Each selected case was systematically analyzed using 4 key aspects: the scam method used by the perpetrators, the victim profile, the financial loss suffered, and the legal and ethical issues involved. By comparing this aspect across all 3 cases, we were able to identify common patterns and understand how online financial scams are carried out in Malaysia. Moving on to trend analysis. We compared our findings with statistics from the Cybersecurity Malaysia Cyber 999 Report 2024. The report recorded 4,219 fraud cases, accounting for 68% of all reported cyber incidents, making fraud the largest category of cybercrime. This confirms that the cases were selected are not isolated incidents but reflect a broader and growing cybersecurity issue in Malaysia. Finally, we connected each case to the relevant Malaysian cyber laws, so different cybercrime activities were matched with the applicable legislation. For example, impersonation scams are related to penal code, unauthorized access falls under the Computer Crimes Act 1997, misuse of personal data is covered by the Personal Data Protection Act 2010, and while online fraudulent communications are governed by the Communication and Multimedia Act 1998. Overall, this methodology allowed us to systematically analyze the selected cases, identify recurring fraud trends, and evaluate them from both legal and ethical perspective.
Okay, next, for my part, I cover the type of cybercrime and case summaries from our result and discussion. All 3 of our selected cases fall under online financial fraud, but each represent a different subcategory. The first case is the Johor Bahru bank manager, a retired bank manager who lost 936,000. This is classified as a Macau scam and impersonation-based fraud. She received a call from someone posing as an insurance agent, which escalated to fake police officer, and then a fake deputy public prosecutor, all accusing her of money laundering. Under that manufactured fear and urgency, she transferred her entire savings for verification. The second case is the Pekan civil servant who lost 130,806 in an online investment scam. She was drawn in by a scheme promising profit within just 3 hours. She only realized she'd been scammed after being asked to keep paying additional fees before she could withdraw any returns. Here is greed and speed that replace verification, not fear. The third case is the Manjung Syndicate, an organized syndicate-run investment scam. Police raided a call center in Setiawan and Lumut and arrested 13 Chinese nationals who were running a fake investment website, equipped with phones, laptops and modems. Unlike the first 2 cases, this wasn't one person deceiving one victim. It was a professional cross-border operation targeting victims both locally and abroad. So even though these 3 cases fall under 3 different subcategories: impersonation fraud, individual investment scam, and organized syndicate fraud, they all share the same ethical core, exploiting the victim's trust through either fear or greed to bypass their ability to verify what's happening. And notably, this happened regardless of the victim's professional background, a bank manager or civil servants, all financially literate people. And that's all from me. Thank you.
For trend analysis, this chart compares the financial losses across the 3 cases. The retired bank manager in the Macau scam recorded the highest loss, which is nearly 950,000 ringgit, followed by the Pahang civil servant with around 150,000 ringgit. The Manjung syndicate case shows lower than 100,000 ringgit in direct financial loss value. Overall, the data shows that scam cases can lead to significant financial losses, emphasizing the need for stronger public awareness and preventive measures. In conclusion, our research analysed 3 online financial scam cases in Malaysia, which is the Macau scam, the online investment scam, and the Manjung investment syndicate. Although the scams are different, they all use fear, urgency, or false promises to manipulate victims into making quick decisions without proper verification. We also found that online scams are becoming more organized, with scammers impersonating authorities, using social media platforms, and operating through organized syndicates. To address this issue, stronger cooperation between PDRM and MCMC is needed along with greater public awareness. Most importantly, everyone should always verify urgent financial requests independently before making any payment. That's all from us. Thank you.